managing many meetings that don't go well. Members were assembled again to transact business of mutual benefit. Do not let jealousies and trivial personalities influence our deliberations. Let us uphold always the obligations of unselfish comradeship and loyalty to our organization and to the town of Cohasset. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
I don't think we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
Oh, yes, we do. Okay. I now declare this Cohasset Council on Aging CEA duly open for a transaction of business. So,
Write that down.
no, but I'll try to do that at every meeting. Okay. We do have a quorum. Oh, I did want to, let's go over the agenda first to see if there's any changes. Is everybody comfortable with the agenda? Okay, if there's no other issues, we'll move forward. One thing here, I had the Board of Directors introductions. We won't be doing those because our new member is in Vermont. So she'll be new.
Do we have?
Marcia Sylvia. She
Oh,
is-
Bob's wife?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, cousin, I think.
Oh, cousin.
Actually, Rich Sylvia used to be involved in the veterans, and he was involved with me in CERT.
Uh-huh.
And I played bocce with Marcia every week. So,
Oh, okay.
Diana knows Marcia.
Yep.
Oh, there's Diane.
Hi,
Hi,
Diana.
Diana.
How are you?
Diana.
I'm sorry, I'm waiting for a repair man.
They told me she could come to the meeting, but that they'll approve her officially tomorrow.
Okay.
And I also wanted to mention that Diana agreed to stay on as vice chair.
Right.
So
Yes.
we're all set with that.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey,
Hey.
Diana.
So Marcia Silva's coming on tomorrow.
tomorrow, yeah, she gets approved tomorrow. And then she'll be at our next meeting in September.
And she is not a voting, she's an
Associate. So we're trying to fill the seats. Let's see. Okay, if we can go over the minutes from last meeting then. And I did have some questions on that.
Rich, what did you just do to your glasses?
Just come on.
Ever saw those?
As
Do
I
you think he's like a
remember,
magician?
2023.
I'm 1827.
Your Ben Franklin originals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No way you can break those.
Oh, I don't know about that. I had a question on the minutes. Where was it here? Oh, on the van. Paul's not here. Have we ordered the van?
No,
No. Okay, where do we stand on that? What happened?
we
has
just
to
got
happen?
we heard from the state that we have been approved for it, and they said that they would follow up with additional information, and I have not heard anything
Who's
further.
they? The town or the
The
state?
state.
The state, that's even better. So, hi, Tabby. Yeah,
Hi, Taffy.
okay, so are we getting the same thing? What, transit?
I have yet to find out what they do. I don't know if they send information to us and say, go to this lot and pick it out, or if they say, this is the only thing that's available to you. I'm not sure. So once I get that information, I'll share it.
Good.
We'll figure out
Okay.
if it's the same. It should be, what I'm thinking would be the same one as the wheelchair accessible van. That seems to work out really good, just an updated model.
Okay. Now, Elaine, the money, we have access to the money, right? Is that access forever until this shows up, or what happens?
I suspect so, because they've allocated it into our department funds. They've set up a separate fund for it, a line item. And it's been there since what, 22? Since the town meeting, it was voted in. Nancy, have you heard anything as to whether or not, I mean, I just assume they'll scoop the funds when they use it. We don't, have physical access to any funds. It all goes through town hall. So, I mean, we don't,
Right. As far as I think I asked
they could pull it.
Paul that last time, and he said we should be able to just say, tell the town, I forget which department. capital that we're using that money now because it's come through.
Okay,
he
and if
seemed
it
to think
takes 2 years,
He seemed to think it was because
Okay.
it was given to us that we're good with that.
good,
We don't have to redo it.
all right.
I'm sorry, Miss, did we get some good word on this?
Yes, last month we heard that it did go through, so we got the approval for the new van from the state. We're just now waiting to hear what the details are.
So Nancy, will you be the one that contacts capital budget to let them know that we will be using those funds? Or
If
just
that,
Paul?
if that's the proper channels, I guess I'm going to need some help maybe from Paul or from Rich to find out if we even need to do that, what the next step is. I don't know.
Well, we gotta wait for the state to get
Let's wait,
official.
yeah, we're gonna wait
okay.
and see that, what we need to do as far as picking out a van or what, but then I will do whatever needs to get done.
Okay. Any other questions on the agenda? I mean, on the minutes?
Can we approve them?
I make a motion to approve.
Second,
Any discussion on the minute, on the motion? On the motion, on the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Let's see. Okay, then on the treasurer's report. Oh, by the way, I'm glad that you do the summary.
yeah.
I got the entire, I think it was 20 pages
Oh,
of every penny that's ever spent in this place in the last year. And I was scared to death.
Well, that's great. And as I've said to, I think it was Nancy, just Nancy and Rich, you know, if anybody would like to see the numbers presented in a different way or would like to have the verbal presentation presented in another way with additional information, less information, just let me know. This is a living document, should be changed all the time or reviewed all the time. So please speak up if you want to see something different. But with respect to the June 30th numbers, I hope you have a copy to refer to. They are preliminary. So, and that means, you know, with any fiscal year end, adjustments are expected to be made by the town finance committee department. All the adjustments should be completed by the end of this month. A final June year-end report reflecting all adjustments will be provided at our next Board of Directors meeting. The preliminary report that you have a summary of reflects an unexpended general fund balance as of June 30th of $22,735. That of that, $22,193 represents unexpended payroll, and only $542 is unexpended other expenses. We are expecting, as we've talked about, a payroll accrual adjustment to record payroll earned during June, but not paid until July 6th. This happens every year. I estimate that adjustment is going to be about $12,000. The remaining unexpended payroll appropriation is going to be, I expect, will relate to the van driver expense, which we've also discussed previously. So no surprises there. Any questions with respect to that? Under the grants, we have a fund balance of 31,000. The total fund balance is 31,557. The formula fund is 24,327, and copper is 7,231. The majority, obviously, of the receipts and the expenses relate to formula during the year ended. Revolving fund, the receipts at the end of the year exceeded expenses by 1,306. The fund balance is 18,374. Gift accounts, the expenses primarily social worker payroll. Our total gift fund balance at June 30th is 58,028. Our unrestricted gift fund balance is it was 58,028, if I didn't say that. Our unrestricted gift fund balance is 32,937. And then we have that 66,000 we just discussed relating to the van that was appropriated to us back in July 1, 2022 is when they booked that. Questions, comments?
That unrestricted Are the unused van driver, does that money go back to the town?
It does. Yeah, and that's consistent year to year. We've always
Yeah.
had an
Right.
overage in that line item. What,
1 second. Having seen the entire report and scared to death, I'm relying on you to tell us if it's time to hit the bomb shelter. You know,
will do, Rich.
okay, as long as everything's moving in the right direction, I'm relying on you to,
Okay,
because I'm not going through that report again.
That's what we have Elaine doing it.
That's right.
all right.
And boy, do I appreciate that.
Oh,
Makes a big
you're
buck.
welcome.
Big bucks.
Yeah,
All right, if we could, can we take a motion on accepting the treasurer's report?
so moved.
No, a motion? Did you make a motion?
Tanner
I'll
did.
move that.
Second?
Second. Yes.
Any discussion on the motion? On the motion? On the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, the director's report.
All right. Well, I just wanted to let everybody know, I know last year was the first time that we started, we got ARPA funds from South Shore Elder Services. I think it was funneled through the federal government to South Shore Elder Services. And they gave us money so we could use it for any nutritional need for food or any, basically, any food insecurity for seniors. So we are going to use that money once again this year for farmers market coupons. It worked really well last year. People absolutely loved it. And thank you to Eleanor and the Cohasset Farmers Market for working with us on being able to design this voucher that we give to people we know who are in need of fresh, healthy food. And they use it at the farmers market. They get it turned into the manager's office at the farmer's market, for lack of a better word, and then.
Is that the hot dog stand?
That's right.
And then we reimburse the farmer's market for those vouchers. So it works out really well, and just wanted y'all to know we'll be doing that again. And it's lasts throughout the season. As I mentioned last month, I just wanted to reiterate that it's going to be official for September. In September, we're going to have to start notifying people, but the to-go meals will be increased by $1. It is currently $4. It's going up to $5, and the other dining in will be $4 still.
On that, the Jim mentioned last time that some of the chefs are putting their own money into the pot to get a nicer meal. We have funds for that, right?
Absolutely, and that is not something that we encourage or that we expect. So we always expect and I did bring that up to Liza after last month, and she said every chef should know, and she's reiterated that you go to the store, you bring us the receipt, we reimburse you. So I think Jim brought it up last month, on occasion, if you've done that or somebody else has done it and didn't bring it to our attention, there's no way we know that they're doing
Sure.
it. So as long as you bring us those receipts, and we want you to bring the receipts, we have the money for it, we want to reimburse all the chefs.
Does that work for all the stuff, like when we have the community dinners? How's that work? Money-wise?
It's for the.
Same system.
It's the same. If the chef is doing something for us, we are reimbursing the chef for any money. There are a couple of chefs who do not they want to do it as a giving back to the community, giving
Okay.
back. So they do not send in receipts. They have told us they don't expect to and they don't want to. And so that's their choice. But for any other chef, for whether it's community supper, whether it's everyday lunches, they will get reimbursed.
And what line, I'm afraid to ask, what line item is that on
And
that big
congregate
report?
meals. So
Meals, okay.
it's kind of a, it's kind of a dance between the congregate meal line item and revolving fund, because we put the money that we get into the revolving, but we use it out of the congregate. So I kind of use it and say, if it almost covers itself, it just comes in and out of the revolving fund. If it looks like we're spending a lot more money than we're getting in, I take it out of the congregate.
And how does it look? Looks
Oh, it
fine?
looks really, yeah, well, because at the end of the year, we pretty much have no congregate money left. I
Okay.
think we're down to like $40.
Oh, good. Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we spend it well.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna go to $5 on the other meals. I
How
don't,
many of those are there? It seems like
Uh,
quite a few.
Yeah, at times are more than others, but usually there could be anywhere between 4 and 8 on a regular day. Yeah, so it's become more and more popular, the more people realize that they can do that, they take advantage of it, so. But it is more work to get it set
Yeah,
up, to
and the
separate.
Oh,
the-
just-
Yeah, it's
everything.
all
it's a
of
pain in the neck to
Supplies.
do them.
It's a,
Yeah.
yeah,
Simply because you're trying to serve the people in the
Serve.
dining room and at the same time, people are waiting.
and the cost of the supplies for that, so.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
I mean, is it awkward enough where you might want to set up a time for that? Like you do the go meals at 12:30?
Yes, I think we've told people now, don't come to, before 12:15. That
Okay.
way we can set up
Yeah.
before, and so that's the thing, it's a work in progress, as we know, things change. That is one of the things we've decided that,
And
before
when-
everybody was coming at
And when
12.
people sign up for lunch, do they say whether or not it's to go?
They're
up front?
they're supposed to.
Okay, I don't think it's
And
asked. I've
we
never
try,
been asked.
well, most people who we know who just come,
Yeah.
regular diners, we don't ask, but if they're new to us or we should be asking every time, but if somebody like who comes every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
Wednesday to go,
Okay.
they'll be like, they don't know what we're talking about. So it is something we should be saying to everybody though.
Good. Well, I don't see that anybody's gonna kick about that.
Yeah, hope not. And I think I mentioned it last time, but I was expecting to see it out on the Cohasset website, but the kitchen coordinator, town manager has definitely approved that, and we're hoping to get somebody. So if you know of anybody, a retired chef or retired somebody in the food service industry who might be interested, I'm expecting it to be about 15 hours a week. Somebody who can manage what we're doing in the kitchen.
And they're like the head,
Well, it's somebody who can supervise all of the volunteer chefs.
and what about when launch comes in? Are they relieved that when launch comes, or are they required for that too? When
No, I
launch
think
does the cleanup.
launch is our own, yeah,
Okay.
launch can do, but they'll oversee, make sure launch is doing a good job. I expect them to be saying, looking at it and saying, if it's not clean after launch leaves, maybe they have the discussion with launch to say, this is what we need to do in a real commercial kitchen. You can't leave it, with
Yeah.
Does launch get paid for doing that?
some of no, we do not pay them. It's all, and they do it as volunteers, the participants who do it. Some of the things around here, we pay them, but for, like the outside, but they come here to do volunteer and they know it, and that's why we just treasure them.
Mm-hmm.
Participants love to
Oh, I love it when launch comes.
Well, I haven't seen anything on the website about an offer, a position.
Yeah, I know. I just reached out and I think part of that is because I sent it out, and Elaine, I made mention of it this morning. There's been a problem with my emails. So one of my emails went out and it wasn't received for a week. How that happened, I don't know. So there's been some issue and I haven't seen it, but I was told it was supposed to go up last week. So I'm working on it.
Okay.
I wanted to bring attention to some upcoming programs. We're having a comedian. I think he'll be really fun, Johnny Peasy, on July 19th. So if you can come, that would be great. I think we're starting to get a good crowd for that. It's Cohasset Pizza House first and then a comedian. So it sounds like a good afternoon. And
Now, again, I'm into the money after that report. I'm sorry. How do we pay him? Or how,
we have a budget for programming
okay.
and it would come out of that.
And then whatever $5 you get, the difference you pay out of that budget. Okay. And we're not going to the bomb shelter, right? Okay, good.
So far, we've been able to
Let's see
manage.
Johnny then.
Yeah.
He is
Where
Johnny.
is bomb shelter, Rich, in
Yeah.
case I
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you.
wasn't aware we had one.
Basement.
Yeah.
Taffy's house, maybe?
We're starting anew, Rich, so we'll be right.
Okay.
we'll be fine.
Okay. Is it going to be catered?
And Amy DeLillo, we all know Amy, she comes and does the yoga and meditation classes and anything like that. And she's going to put on a presentation of the health benefits of a good night's sleep, which seems to be people are sounds very happy to be listening to that. A lot of people could use that. So last month, 360 unique individuals. That's each individual who came, it's 360 of them. And as we can see from the number of over 1,000 visits last month, those people come numerous times. So that's really always good to see. And we've transported 50 residents to shopping, medical, and other errands for 254 rides in the month of June. And of those 50, 21 were medical related.
Now, are the medical rides you, or is that other
It's
organization?
electric vehicle and social community action.
And who's the, what's the program that does the rides? Fish, yeah.
Well, FISH is the volunteers,
Yeah.
so we have volunteer drivers through FISH, and we have social community action through the MAP, which is a grant-funded program.
And now those are the 21?
Yes,
Okay,
Those are pretty impressive numbers. That's a
yeah.
robust activity.
it was getting busier and busier, and I think
Love it.
people are starting to notice, and we have something actually. We're just trying to get people to notice that we do offer this, like we're having farmers market, trip to farmers market in July for people who can't normally get there. So we're just trying to really open people's eyes to the fact that we do all these things. So many people call us for the first time and say, "Oh, I didn't know you did that."
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, that's great, but now that you know we do that, now what else can we do for you? So it
Well,
is, I think it's
I-
slowly, but it's getting people.
I don't know how it works with Bobby Sylvia, because I noticed during bocce, for instance, there's a couple of people that need transportation and they never even play bocce, or they play for an hour or so. But apparently Bobby's making a special trip to come take them back
So-
at like 2:30?
Yeah, so, and that's why we're trying to be flexible. We try to keep the drivers here only when we need the demand for rides.
Yeah,
So they're usually done by 2 after lunch.
Yeah.
We never needed them. So when we have somebody who's here for bocce and it's later in the afternoon and it's only one person who needs a ride, you have to pay that driver to hang around and be here and drive that person home. So we're trying to cut it in the middle. We'll keep him a little bit longer, but not until the very end of bocce, just so that we don't pay a
Yeah,
driver
right.
hanging around. So we're trying to be flexible so that we don't ignore somebody's need for a ride. And if there was more people, that would even be better because it would make more sense based on the demand to have. But yeah, that's what we try to do in the afternoon. But the afternoons, primarily, we don't have the van drivers because they're usually done by early afternoon
as people come and ask about it, should I say 2:30 is
for the rides.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I mean, I think they appreciate that. That was a surprise. So, by the way, they're not very good bocce players, so we're happy to see them
So
go.
it's all right.
Whether they get a ride or not.
Yeah. Don't remember, the bus is coming, the bus is coming.
Get me on it.
Yeah? Well, that's good. Oh, the other, well, we brought it up before, and I still can't answer to people. We have one person who's up at Sunshine, or whatever the name of the retirement home is, Sunrise. And she relies on other people to get transportation. And I know there's some sort of policy that we can't bring their people here, or I don't know, what is the policy?
The
What's-
policies, and no senior centers do it for assisted living.
Right,
So it's just what the policy is, any need from the assisted living, because that's why they're there to be paying, to be taken care of. If they want their people or their residents to leave there, they have to provide transportation, and that goes for medical or social. So even though it's in Cohasset, we don't supply transportation for the residents of there. And that's when we hope and we rely on the people who are in the community who want the people from the assisted living to join us to come. So if they wanted somebody to come in for a lunch, they would go grab them, drive them here and bring them here. But we do not do it as a strict policy because once we start. And we did try to do that through the MAP program, South Shore Community Action. And a couple of years ago, for transportation, we thought, okay, our policy is we can't take them up because it's through South Shore Community Action. And we were told once they found out that we were taking people from the assisted living, that we had to stop it. And that was per order of South Shore Community Action. And South Shore Elder
Have you had a
Services.
discussion with Sunrise about?
We have had numerous discussions, yeah. Yeah, it's
It's their issue.
Would run,
Yeah.
their issue.
It's
They
their
have
issue.
to
run a
they-
Yeah.
shuttle over here, like.
They say they provide transportation to people, but then once you get them in there, they say, oh, but only if all of, like, they've transported
Yeah.
a group, but they
Oh.
won't transport individuals because they say they don't have the,
It's probably the chicken and the egg too, if they brought them over here, sort of set it up like, hey, well, on this day, we'll take you over to Wilcott, like whatever day lunch is served, or, well, they serve lunch, but anyway, more people would probably do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But yeah, I've heard various things, like the whole assisted living things are
Mhm.
tricky
The whole
sometimes.
thing. We do transportation.
would you take somebody to a
Yes.
council on aging?
Yes.
Wow.
That's Cambridge though.
And that's single people. You're not taking the group.
I used to drive a lady from Sunrise.
Yeah.
A lot.
That was Fish though, wasn't
Yeah, I guess I was
it? Jeff used
contacted.
to drive Fish from over there too.
Right,
Hmm.
and that's when then when we found out from Social Community Action, we couldn't even have,
Not even Fish.
Not
Wow.
even the volunteers.
Really?
So, yeah. Oh,
That's
we
too bad.
it's a flat out policy now.
Is a part of what.
When they took her out.
And
Family
if you
took her out of
charge
there.
for it, don't do it. That's not right either.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, either you.
Yeah.
Off the path.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot.
Oh, what's happening with your pergola?
I'm waiting to hear from so last I met with the facilities, Nick from facilities and Glenn Pratt, and they measured it off and they were supposed to get some bids on some construction costs and stuff, so they're,
Just haven't heard back.
yeah, it's still in process.
What happened to the tent? Was that not feasible?
No, the
I thought-
tent, what, we could do the tent, it's just that with the money that we could get, what we want to do is expand outdoor programming, and the tent sometimes is it's beautiful, it works, but it's also very cool. And so I figured if we had a pergola that we could have the sun, so that when it wasn't too hot to be outside and enjoying the outside, and then it comes with some, we could buy a special cover for it,
Oh.
and we could also cover it up so that we could be there under light rain or full sun. So we decided not to do the tent so that we could focus on the pergola. And that's what, and a lot of times when we were doing it for lunch, people would say, oh, we can't be out here, it's too cold, because the sun
Yeah.
was not strong enough for it, or it was so strong they wanted to be under the shade, but then
Yeah.
it's too chilly. So anyway, we were focusing on that, but it's going to take a lot longer than the summer to get that work.
Yeah, but it's better.
Pardon?
Nope, I'm just saying to myself, it's a better situation than the tent.
Yes, yes.
It's a permanent, more of a
And it's definitely
investment, in a
permanent,
permanent solution.
And from what I understand, and from pictures that I've seen, and that's why Glenn is so happy to be involved in it, is when they originally envisioned this building, a pergola was attached and was
Huh.
expected to be on there, so.
Nice.
But this would be a freestanding pergola, not one from the building.
Has anybody solved the lighting problems in the back of the kitchen there with the timer that was turning them on and off every 10 seconds?
They were supposed to have taken care of that problem, and the dining room is still the same way, we're
Still
still.
doing it.
and doing that.
God save us from technology.
The stairway going upstairs.
That does it too. If that isn't crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
That's a dangerous
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, then
An old-fashioned light switch is all.
Right.
Yeah.
None.
they worked fine for 100 years. Now all of a sudden we've got to change them.
It's like these classes. Anything else?
For me,
Okay.
unless you have any questions.
Any issues with the director's report? When I get a motion?
I move to accept.
Second?
Second.
Discussion on the motion, on the motion, on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Good, thank you. Okay. Okay, now it's just open for general discussion. Any issues? Anything to bring up? How's the pool going?
The
Busy.
solar's in, people are very happy. The new snack shack is functioning and going very well. Swim team won their meet, did extremely well, so we're very, very pleased.
Home court advantage, right?
Yeah, we have in the next week, I think in the next week, the magazine Stroll is featuring us. So
Oh, great.
Oh,
Ah,
oh,
Oh,
nice.
good, good.
yeah, so we're really, really pleased. The triathlon is in the works and that will be the end of July. For the youngsters, it's a triathlon for children. And nope, we're doing very well. Our WSI program, which is our teaching program, is absolutely full, which
Wow.
is delightful. Yeah.
well, it's
Can't
funny
say
because Mary Ann from Bocce goes up there and does some aerobics at
Yes.
1 o'clock and then
Yes.
takes a shower and runs down and plays bocce for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she really enjoys that. So,
Yeah, it's a really good program and Martha's done it for, I think, 3 or 4 years, and she does a great job.
neat.
Yep.
And the solar's working out well up there?
Solar's working beautifully. We can't believe it. It's bringing it up between 15 and 20 degrees.
Wow, that's
Wow.
more than expected.
Amazing.
Huh?
Yeah,
Like a hot tub.
no, not necessarily, but it's better than the cold at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, sure.
That's the other thing. Our master swim is going like crazy. It's full, and Bill, the gentleman that's working it, he said he can't believe some of these people he didn't even know existed. And they're Cohasset residents and they've come out to do a master swim, which is super. Because
And
that's
is
early
that-
in the
is that
morning.
lap swim? That's
Yes.
lap swimming? Okay. And what,
Yeah.
how do you keep the other people out of the lanes?
Because it's before 7 a.m.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So we're very pleased. It's turning out to be a very, very good season. And we have absolutely fabulous employees this year, which is just really nice.
Oh,
Well,
great.
good, because I know you were quite concerned putting the pool back together and all the renovations and everything. But it's
Right.
good. You look a little more relieved than you did in May.
You think? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, well, plus I got up and went on a cruise for 2 weeks, so I just came back.
Well,
from-
that'll do
Well,
it.
Nice.
somebody's got to do it.
Hard to take.
Next year, you're gonna go for the liquor license up there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
No, I don't think so. No. Gee, I took a Viking cruise though up to Scandinavia.
Oh,
Oh, was it
It
great?
was- It was the most, I would recommend it to anybody, anywhere. It was absolutely fabulous. We did all the Scandinavian countries. So we did 5 countries and we did 5 islands. So it was amazing. I had never known as much about Finland as I do now. And Sweden and Denmark and Norway. And we went to Berlin, to Germany, and to Poland.
Oh, wow.
It was quite the trip, and it was very eye-inspiring. I could tell you more about Vikings than I ever thought I could in my whole life. It was very interesting, and I think how the world perceives different aspects of what's going on in the world as far as discussions and politics and wars and all that. It would be wonderful if we could have a more open forum somehow between countries, because we saw some things that I actually had no idea even existed. And yet, when we were in Finland, we were amazed at how really cautious they are, because the Russians are right next door. I mean, you literally can look across and see them. So it was quite a education along with everything else. So it was delightful. And they have 4 pools, by the way.
What?
They had 4 swimming pools.
Ah,
I used them all.
my son's in Lithuania, and last month he had to go to Germany for a month to train all the border countries,
Yes,
Poland, Lithuania, Romania,
Yep.
Czechoslovakia.
Finland.
He just kept rattling them off. They're getting all new tanks, or they got all new tanks. So he had to teach him all the particulars about the new tanks.
Yep.
So apparently they're in the Ukraine now. I don't know why they haven't brought these other guys in. I don't know whether it's just the anticipation that these border countries are coming into the war, or if they're coming into the war. So
I don't think they're planning to, but they're all very, very aware of NATO, and they're all doing a very good job of making sure that all the countries are in NATO and that are functioning well, because apparently that's a big plus for the free world.
Yeah. Well, he said it was just amazing, all the different languages he had to deal with.
Yeah.
And, he speaks Bostonese and that's it. So, but there were several interpreters. You just didn't know if the word was getting crossed or not.
Yeah. I think the only country that kind of disappointed me, and it wasn't the countryside, it was the city, was Germany. Berlin, I was not impressed. They're very, it's a very cold atmosphere. It's a very business-like cold atmosphere. It's not a warm, fuzzy at all. And they're rebuilding, and what they're doing is also very symmetrical, very plain, very cold. I'd give it compared to the other countries. But that's typical of Germans, having grown up as one. They're also very staged, to the point kind of thing. And it shows in what they're doing to rebuild their city, but we need them as well as we need everybody else, so.
I spent a little bit of time in Munich, but it's not like that at all. Munich is a party town. So,
I spent some time in Hamburg and it's great.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think it
great.
was just the city,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, just the city, and they're trying to preserve some of the Russian not an invasion, but the East-West issue. They're trying to save some of that for posterity, but on the other hand, they're trying to rebuild the city. Yeah. We were also pleased to see they were having the World Olympics for the disabled this
That's
past.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Special Olympics. Yeah.
That's in
Yeah,
Berlin.
especially-
too?
it was
It
fabulous.
yeah. It's already been. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really great.
I wanted to bring up that the Valor Act, as you all know, was passed a couple of months ago. It's supposed to be active as of July. I've been told I'm the director of the Valor Act, but I have seen no documentation yet, nor application. And I was promised that I would have them by July. And I was promised that in May, and I was promised that in June. I've been promised that in July, by the way, but yet to see it. But I know you're very interested, and I've talked to the powers that be, and all your time would be qualified under this.
All senior center time, is that what you talked about?
Yeah.
Great.
And I know that you've submitted some opportunities. I don't know how we connect the veteran with you to the opportunities. And I'm not even sure how I'm going to interview the veterans to see what they want to do. So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll play it all out.
Is the application out there though?
No.
Okay, so we'll be happy to share the word once we know, so we can direct people to the application, and
But we
then
could actually leave a few applications here too.
we just have to get the word out.
Yeah, yeah.
Put it on the website.
And what is the Valor
Yeah,
Act?
and
The Valor Act is veterans, qualified veterans, and by qualified, I mean, there's a lot of phonies out there, but real veterans have an opportunity to work for the town, to work volunteer hours for the town, to do a real estate write-off. So up to $1,500, and the rate, I think, is $15 an hour.
Right.
Is what the rate is, but you don't get any money until the end of I think it's now in December, they're gonna do it. But they'll issue, let's say you work 100 hours and that's $1,500. The town has to take some stuff out of it, small taxes, and I'm not sure exactly what else. And then they issue you a check up to $1,500 to take off your insurance. But I don't like it because they
Taxes.
issue a check and it's a 1099 and you
Oh.
gotta pay taxes on that
Oh.
check, so,
And they've already taken taxes out of it?
no, they haven't.
Didn't they say, you just said they were gonna?
There's some other stuff, I mean, you're town employees, what are some of the other
I think
things?
it's
that-
Obra, they take
Obra,
a
okay.
Obra.
Oh, yeah.
But it was under, unless this is different, because in
Health.
other towns that I was aware of it, they didn't give anybody a check. They would take out all the taxes, but they would credit the,
I would think they just credit it on your tax
right, they
bill.
never gave
That's what I
anybody a
hope,
check.
but it's not, apparently they hand you a check.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not too,
And
and then the
also,
other,
what, did they set out what kind of jobs are?
well, no, that's part of the program. I mean, every department apparently, like CEA, has been asked, do you have any veteran
So
opportunities?
they're supposed to
they've
say these.
fed
are
back
things we-
What opportunities there are. Then as the applications come in, we'll try to somehow coordinate that. And I'm not even sure how we're gonna keep track of the hours. And that's primarily my job.
Well, here it's
Track
pretty
of
easy
everybody's
because you
hours.
check in for all your
That's
your
right.
time. It's documented.
Right, yeah, that makes it easy.
But other towns I know have had veterans paint fire hydrants,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't know how they track those hours,
Mhm.
but that's all that stuff is the director of Valarac will straighten all of that out.
Right.
Good luck.
Okay, good.
And you'll be the first to know when I'm ready to go.
If you need any help with that, I'd be happy.
Oh, sure, yeah, you pick up some hours on that.
I thought of that, but no, I'm just saying, you know, sometimes it's just you need another pair of eyes to do some stuff or make phone calls or something. I'd be glad to help.
Right. And Rich, I'll be
Bye.
happy to, oh, bye, Tana. I'm happy to help too. You know, we did a similar thing with that real estate tax abatement. Remember 2 years ago, we had some money in the budget and it really went through the town, what is it, the assessor's
Yeah,
office.
that's where I've been.
Would meet. Yeah, and Sarah was on the committee with myself and we went through and Tana. And they kind of ran the whole thing. They came up with the numbers. It's a little different. We sent out a notice to the town and asked people to send in a request to be part of this abatement process. No cash went through the individuals. It was all just applied against their real estate, bills.
Well,
So
I'm
I'm
working with the assessor's office, so maybe I'll fresh their memory about that, because I don't like the idea of checks, because of the, paying taxes.
It makes,
Well, and that would be the scary part. You give somebody a check and they're in desperate need of paying their rent. They may not pay their taxes, so
Oh, sure
I think the
not.
whole point for the town is to get their, to
Well,
lower your
tax
taxes
money,
and
yeah.
pay the taxes. So, yeah.
Yeah,
But- I think that some of that money is, because years ago, we talked about setting up that program for any kind of volunteer services by the elderly to have a credit applied to their real estate taxes. Remember that, Nancy? And when I looked at the details, I haven't worked with it specifically, but I believe that in that money, that assessment is, or rebate, whatever you call it, is taxable at the federal level, but not at the state level. That's what it looked like to me back then when I looked at it. And I thought that might be one reason why the town was dragging its feet on it, as well as its kind of administrative nightmare. It's hard, like you say, it's going to be hard to monitor. But
well, this is a state program, and Massachusetts pays the $1,500 to the town.
Yeah,
Anything that the town pays, the state
okay, so
reimburses the town. So I don't know why they can't just, do a line change on the report.
it sounds like a grant,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
We shall see.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? No? We will not have a meeting in August, as is our practice. We will meet again in September.
I had a question about that.
Yeah.
That's September 11th.
Mhm. Oh.
Could we
What was
meet
it?
maybe at 9:30? Instead of
September, I was gonna say, are we
September
even
11th,
here?
that's
I guess we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why 9:30?
because the ceremony's at 9:15. It's over by 9:30.
Okay. That's fine with
Should we
me.
say 10 just to be
So
sure?
10 would be all right with me, but
Sure.
10?
people have to go to work.
Can you check out the Zoom capability if we start at 10 in September? Because I know that was a problem one other time.
Oh,
Because
you
somebody
mean
else had Zoom.
To make sure that we can still use it, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's take a vote on that, 10 a.m. If it works, we may want to talk about doing that beyond September.
And what's the ceremony before that?
At
On the Common?
The Common, you've been,
September 11th ceremony, yeah, it's at 9.
okay, that would work.
Yeah.
All right, let's, on that motion, can we get a second on the
Second
motion?
that motion.
Discussion on the motion, on the motion, on the motion? All those in favor at meeting at 10 o'clock on September 11th, say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it, and Nancy will check that we can do the Zoom. Now, with the Zoom, if that's a hangup, are we required to do the Zoom for these calls, for these meetings?
When we first came back on, that was the requirement. I can double check that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
may
thought
not
it was
have to.
extended again. I thought it was extended again. That you had
Extended,
to.
yeah.
I know everybody's doing it, the community, but I don't know if it's just.
Yeah, I mean,
have
when
been.
they declared COVID done, you'd think it was done, but then I think the state did, but you'll have to double check.
I will double check. And I think the town manager likes it anyway. He likes to have open of meetings and for anybody to be able to watch it. So I don't know if that, even if the state has rescinded that, whether or not the town manager wants that to be changed, but I will.
Well, if the Zoom's a problem for September 11th at 10 o'clock, see if we can get a one-time dispensation not to have Zoom, so we can at
Okay.
least do, something like that. Okay. All right, can we get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
No, okay, on the motion, on the motion, on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, we'll see you September 11th at 10 o'clock.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Nice